Druid tank in Mists of Pandaria was not the top tier tank. After introduction of active mitigation, we got the worst possible one. On demand, 45% of them dodge, not damage reduction, dodge. And tanking with Druid felt like dancing on the edge of a knife. And actually, that's pretty true. For what we can see in Warlords of Dreanor alpha patch notes, it's getting better. So what are the changes? First of all, mastery is changing, so no longer flat percentage buff to armor. Now what we're gonna get is a buff that's gonna work in a totally different way. So when we are getting hit, we get 16% of this attack damage as an absorption shield. And I think that's pretty cool, because some of the attacks we're gonna dodge from the active mitigation mechanism, which stays the same, and some of the attacks will hit us and we're gonna get absorbed for future. I think that's cool. I like it. The problem with the current armor buff thing was that armor scales in a logarithmic fashion. So whoever thought that percent amount of armor scaling is a good idea was actually in a really kind of a weird, probably dragged state, because armor work basically like this. When you get one armor, you get like I think like 30 or 20% of damage reduction, but when you get like 1000 armor, 1000 like armor rating, then it's only like 35% of damage reduction. And so it works like this, that the more armor you get, the less is the gain on the percentage damage reduction. And it works only on physical damage. It's not like, for example, like Paladin, who gets 25% of damage reduction. Yeah, so he gets the flat damage reduction, and that's after applying the armor. So he gets, so you apply the armor and then you apply this debuff, and he actually gets a lot less damage than us. And we don't have like much more HP than them. So so this mastery, which works in a way that you generate absorbs from the damage that you get, is kind of like it feels like it's better. Rage from melee attacks is getting nerfed, so you're not gonna get 10.9 range from a white swing, but 5. Savage defense is staying the same, so 45% of dodge for 6 seconds, 60 rage cost. Survival instincts are getting buffed, so it's gonna be 70% damage reduction, and the cooldown is gonna be 2 minutes. But all of the tanks are getting similar treatment, so that's not actually a buff. That's like keeping all the tanks in line with the main cooldowns. We get 12% of attack damage buff in mastery, but what Blizzard wants to do is reduce the damage that tanks are doing by probably a half or something like this. So we're not going to be at the top of the meters on some bosses, but you know, at the bottom. Now agility is not giving us critical strike anymore. So every class is getting 5% of critical strike passive, and druids and all the agility users are getting 10% more. So baseline, at the start of the expansion with no gear, we're gonna get 15% of critical strike. That's not bad, but critical strike is not, it doesn't feel as amazing for us as it was, for example, in Wrath of the Lich King. Heat and expertise are gone, and now the thick leather will give you extra 3% of expertise, and you will passively be hit and expertise capped. So hitting a boss from front will always make your yellow swing hits. That's cool. I like it. It's pretty cool. Last but not the least, I think bear form is getting a change, and bear form is getting a change where when you morph into bear form, you don't get increased haste and crit from the items by 50%, but instead haste is reducing the global cooldown. And that's actually really nice, because with the solid reduction of global cooldown, like 30%. I'm talking about mid to end expansion. You will be able to fit one more spell into your rotation. But I'm going to talk about it in a moment. So at the 100 point, 100 level point, we get new talents. That's 3 talents for us. First of them is Guardian of a Loon. Savage defense lasts 4 seconds, so that's down 2 seconds from 6, but gives you 100% dodge. The second one is Pulverize, and it's all good Pulverize. So it consumes 3 stacks of Lacerate, but gives you 30 rage and 20% damage reduction for 10 seconds. And last one is Bristling Fur, that gives you 50% damage reduction for 3 seconds on 1 minute cooldown. So I think Pulverize gonna be great, because now Mangle will give you 30 rage, Lacerate will give you 10 rage, Trash will give you 2 rage plus 2 on every tick, lasting 18 seconds, and having a tick every 2 seconds. So I think it's 18 rage total. So I think if the mainstream will be to get Pulverize, and this gives you damage reduction, 20% damage reduction for 10 seconds, that actually could lead to being a very, very strong tank at the start of the expansion. First of all, we get a lot of dodge from the active mitigation, which is not bad. Not the best, but not bad. We get absorbs from the incoming damage. Well, we cannot dodge all the time because of the diminishing returns. We will be hit at some point, and the next hit will have some sort of absorption shield, so that's really good. And we potentially, if Pulverize will be solid, and I think it will be solid, get 20% damage reduction. So that's almost as good as starting Shield of Righteousness, and I think it's really good. I think it looks like we would be with Pulverize on pair with Protection Paladins, because they also get block and they get parry. We're not gonna have that amount of parry. We basically have only dodge, yeah. But we have a lot of dodge, and that's nice. We have some absorbs, and that's really nice. Then the new change to Vengeance. Vengeance is renamed to Resolve, and Resolve will not give you attack power, but it will buff your absorption and self-healing mechanics. So it's gonna actually work for us because it's gonna buff our mastery, and that's really good. Last but not the least, during the leveling we get some bonuses, and most of them are just damage increase. Like Mangle is getting like 20% more damage, Lacerate is getting 20% more damage. But one of the perks that you are guaranteed to get all of the perks when you will hit level 100. One of the perks is plus 20% of stamina. So I think that at the end of the leveling process at level 100, we could be potentially again, I'm talking about bear tank, again being a solid tank with most HP of all of the tanks with the same gear level, and a solid active mitigation mechanism, a lot of rage, and a really nice rotation. So the rotation will be I think it's going to be slightly simpler, because it's going to be first priority Mangle, then Lacerate to 3 stacks, then Pulverize, and then you have like I think 6 seconds to have this rotation in, and all you have to do is squeeze a Trash every 3 rotation cycles. So it's gonna be Mangle, Lacerate, Pulverize, unless one of the Lacerates will trigger a refresh on Mangle, yeah, because Mangle is the first priority. So it looks pretty interesting. It looks like they want to make the rotation more interesting. It looks like we finally are getting a buff to our active mitigation and mastery, kind of like a mechanism of tanking, which I think we waited for the whole expansion to this to be fixed. I'm looking forward to to this. I think it's gonna be good. I want to tank some stuff as a bear, and up to now I love the changes. But what do you think, guys?